Hello and welcome everybody to the Back Nine coverage of Round 1 of the 2019 CCR Open presented by Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by Chandler Fry on the microphones. How you doing, Chandler?
I am doing fantastic.
We have a fantastic card here of two lefties and two righties, so a lot of different shots that we're seeing, and a couple of shredder scores. Garrett Gurthie and Paul McBeth, 7 down, 9 down in the front 9, and 3 down and 2 down from the lefties.
Paul going for that 18 down potentially.
Yeah.
Woo. Let's see if that happens.
Incredible. And we have a lot of players that have shredded this front 9.
Oh, man. Look at that guy in 10th place.
Yeah. Ooh, little C. Fry action on the leaderboard. We are moving into this back 9. We're going to hole number 10. This is a par 3. What are you thinking here, Chandler?
We got 460 feet. For lefties, it's either going to be a massive sidearm or a turnover, probably high-speed driver. And then for righties, we have just a massive hyzer.
And the hyzer still has to stay pushing forward because we do have a lot of fixed stuff to the left of this pin.
Yeah.
The moment you go in there, you're not going to have much of a putt. So we're going to see Paul probably trying to flip something up.
Also, if you put it too right, you have those trees. This is kind of scary. If it gets through, it's probably good, but that's pretty lucky. If
this was his Zeus, and he definitely said he screwed up, and he was really upset with that shot.
Flashing the rings there. Man.
Definitely flashing the rings.
Look at Garrett there. He knows it.
He was really unhappy about that, but it's funny. That's kind of the line you need to throw to get the birdie here.
Garrett going big hyzer.
Trying to follow suit.
Probably destroyer. There we go. Both of them kind of risking the right side. Kind of scary shots.
We did have a tailwind, so they didn't want to have anything hyzer out early. And now we get to the lefties that are having to throw a lot tougher line. I think Reid has an Avenger SS in his hands here.
Do you ever get frustrated from holes like these, where you can't just throw an easy hyzer?
No, I think it's fun to be challenged to throw different types of shot shapes, and watching people like Reid, attack holes completely differently than me. That was unfortunate. I really think he caught a weird patch of grass, and it kind of kept the disc up. I'm trying to just blast the same line that Paul and Garrett threw.
Oh, get left. That is so beautiful.
And I got it up there. I got it about
just inside the
30
circle.
feet, yeah. 30-footer.
For those of you at home, that is a big sidearm.
Skied it just a little bit. I think the tailwind kind of picked me up. Might not have been a pure tailwind, but
still trying to get that putting stroke down.
I was just happy to throw a sidearm that far and not have my shoulder hurt.
Garrett with a solid putt for birdie from circle's edge.
Birdie. And that's the thing about this hole. If you want to throw the hyzer, you're really challenging that OB, and both players that are close to the basket did that.
Oh, no. That was for par. And the roll away.
It's been a little bit of a tough stretch of luck for Reid here.
He's getting some bad breaks for sure. Paul with a pretty easy birdie. I find that when Paul thinks he shanks the shot, it works out.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, after probably what he thought was the worst shot of his round.
Yeah.
He capitalizes on another birdie, and Reid, unfortunately, after that beautiful roller goes out of bounds. It's going to result in a bogey, and I'm going to tap in a nice par after that.
There we go.
This is a really interesting par 5. What do we have here, Chandler?
You have a hard hole, is what you have. So what you're doing is you're throwing a straight shot with maybe a little anhyzer flex down the fairway. And once again, there's so many little trees that you can find yourself obstructed with. And then the second shot is just try to stay on the fairway.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
There's
Wes. Oh, there's me. Cool.
There's a very generous fairway. However, there is a very specific lane you want to land your disc in.
It's like Paul's throwing that vulture again. There's not much, there's no OB on this hole, really, unless you get down to the right.
Yeah, there's way right and way left. There is roped off OB, but if you're staying in the short grass, you're totally fine.
Did he just go through that tree?
He did,
okay.
And again, you might think he has a good lie, but he's too far right, and there's so many little pines in the way.
Garrett's trying to smash this hole.
Exactly.
Oh, man, that's huge.
Beautiful. And that's eagle territory right there. He's going to shoot right up that gap to the basket.
What are you throwing here?
Lefties are going to go flex. So I realized the OB is in a position where I can really flex it as far left as I want.
Absolutely.
And since the fairway slopes downhill at the end, as that disc slows down, it's going to have plenty of room to cut back. But again, I'm right behind a pine.
Yeah, that's tough.
So Reid's going to make the adjustment here, and that is money.
He got that the flex this time for sure.
That is an enormous TI nuke shot. And he's in front of the pine.
That's what you want for a lefty.
Oh, yeah. And that is going to be potential eagle territory as well.
So what are you doing here with this tree right in your way?
I had no choice but to play for the birdie. I had no look for the eagle. I went
Yeah.
big hyzer with that force. Just wanted to stick it in the middle of the fairway.
That's a good-looking shot.
And I stuck it.
Beautiful placement. Paul is going, it looks like, big hyzer maybe? Oh, he doesn't like it.
Doesn't like it.
Oof.
And the world champ Love yet again puts him right on the fringe.
Oh, man.
But for Paul, that's not enough. And you know he had a very specific shot shape picked out for that eagle look. And Garrett has about as picture perfect of a lie as you could have on this hole. Not quite sure what disc that is that he threw, but he definitely sawed it off a little bit.
He's got probably about a 45-foot putt.
Yeah, he's right next to Paul.
Yeah. Who do we got next? Reid going with the nuke again.
And Reid going longest drive on the hole, but he went a little bit too far to the right, and he's going to have to throw a hyzer here.
It always feels good to outdrive Garrett on a hole.
Oh, yeah. But this is also the lefty that throws the 476-foot hyzer on the baseball field hole. So
look at those gnats, man.
Yeah, they're brutal out here, and Reid unfortunately hyzers into the really, really thick stuff here.
Try throwing this in or just laying up?
I'm just trying to lay up, just trying to snap a putter up to the basket. A
That should
4
be
in this hole is definitely going to take a stroke in the field.
Absolutely.
As you can see.
Ooh, can't even see him.
And he had nothing. I went up there and looked, and literally nothing. It was hard for him to even get into that spot.
He was just getting some bad luck today.
Yeah. It was a rough round.
Still fighting, though. Garrett for a third eagle of the round.
Going Sonic again.
Trying. Oh, and it rolls. That's fine. Good attempt. Good attempt.
And Garrett feels really comfortable with that disc. He says that the Sonic has only rolled away from him, 3-4 times, per season, really. So definitely confident with that disc. Paul from about 50.
Oh, no. Still an easy birdie on this hole.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted that eagle to go for, I think, 12 down through 11?
Yeah.
Oof. Nice putt from Garrett.
And I think both of them really wanted that eagle. They both know that, each of them are shredding.
Yeah.
And each of them are trying to just get some sort of leg up on each other.
Yeah, Paul's not happy with that. Very nice.
And I will definitely take a birdie on that hole. There's just so many different ways to play it. I'm happy that I was able to put myself in a decent position at least.
Easy birdie for Paul.
Tapping birdie's never a bad thing. And then Reid unfortunately takes the 5 after really rough break in that rough over there.
Paul's still on track for a perfect round.
Yeah. And this is par 3 here. Very deceiving. It is a hyzer around the corner up to the basket on those rocks. But what looks like a good shot usually goes long.
Yeah, absolutely. And the shorter shots tend to get through those trees and park.
And that's what I've seen most of the birdies coming from is early hyzers that actually hyzer in front of those trees rather than behind them.
I think we're going to see Paul throwing a huge spike hyzer over all the trees.
And that makes the shape a lot easier to access the green.
This is looking, oh my gosh, perfect. Oh, man.
And even his rough shots are flying well. His perfect shots are flying perfect.
He's just having one of those days.
Dialed right now.
Oh, man. That probably hurt the disc a little bit.
Yeah, with how perfect that flew into the green. Garrett trying to follow suit. And that is a little flatter than I think he wanted it.
Might track a little left into the trees. Oh, that's fine.
And a beautiful tree kick from Garrett.
You go machete here.
Yep, lefty, flick. I'm okay with it.
Oof.
I just hung it a little wide. As you can see, that whole right side of the fairway is OB, so I'm happy to have trickled out there.
That was a
40
scary
feet.
shot.
Reid going Raptor.
Oh, a little left.
Saws it off a little bit.
Right behind those two trees, too. We're probably going to see a par from him on this hole.
Yeah.
You never know. You can throw it in.
He is one of the better Circle 2 putters I've ever played with, so.
Looks like he's got a gap through there. This is just heartbreaking.
I am not sure who he hurt last week, but the karma's coming back to bite him.
One thing about Reid, though, is he's always a happy guy.
Yes.
Like, even if he has a bad round, you're going to see him smiling. Oh, what a putt.
That felt good. I finally had a circle two putt go in the basket.
Beautiful.
My banger finally was behaving with me.
Fantastic. Right in the heart of the chains.
Oh, yeah. That felt good.
Come on, Reid. Good putt.
And that is a pro putt right there. Having the nasty roll away and being able to hit the 30-footer to come back and stay in the game.
Yeah.
And that comes down to Reid having a good attitude and it really hasn't shown any emotion after any of the bad breaks that he had.
Yeah. He's just staying solid and grinding through the course.
Exactly.
Garrett with a nice birdie, a little high, but it sticks in. Good looking shot there.
Clearly a
SloMez.
SloMez Spikeiser is the best shot of this hole.
We're going to see a SloMez on that putt.
That was almost a little bit too easy for those righties throwing the Spikeiser. And now we have a hole you cannot throw a Spikeiser on. We have a very interesting par 4, number 13.
Yeah, it's a difficult hole. You got some trees to navigate through, but ultimately you want to land right where the drone is right now, giving yourself a pretty easy approach to the basket. We're going to see some turnover, probably fairway drivers, sidearms from the lefties possibly.
Yeah. And it's really, you don't need to bite a lot off of this hole. It's a short par 4. It's all about positioning. As you can see, Paul has a putter.
That big Z Luna that he trusts so much. It's so beautiful.
And his trust in his equipment right now, just drifting it left to right, is so perfect. He landed that one on a dime, and that's, as you can see,
perfect.
Right where you want to be, and he just threw a putter. So this hole, I think, tricks you into thinking you have to bite off a lot more than you have to.
We have Garrett here throwing a Sonic, a good touch shot. He's putting the importance on the second shot in the hole and definitely just doing placement on the first.
Yeah, the first shot, as long as you're not landing OB in those bunkers that are flagged off, you are totally fine. And I'm trying to go buzz here. And I put it just a little bit too far. I think I was trying to go inside. It did stay in bounds,
okay.
But again, I'm behind a pine.
Yeah. Reid going with a TI nuke over everything, it looks like.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Is he far enough? Oh, he is far enough, but too far.
He's in the fringe, but he still has a look at the basket. That's no problem. And that's the thing. Like, there's so many different ways to play the hole. We saw a catch disc, we saw a putter, we saw a distance driver, and a mid-range. And
that branch might have helped Garrett there because it looked like it was tracking a little bit too far.
And he should have about a 35-footer from the rough. And I have to go patent pending with a heat.
Are you just kind of playing for par at this point?
You know, I was actually trying to birdie, to be honest with you. I wanted to get that thing to pan, as you can see.
That was...
But apparently I hit that inside tree, and that was frustrating.
That was a good-looking shot.
Yeah, I thought I threw that well. But, you know, I shouldn't have put my drive there. It's not a problem.
That's true. Paul, with an easy approach, should have about a 15-footer for a birdie.
No problem.
Continuing his perfect round.
And that was a nice shot. I think that was a zone.
We should see a birdie from Reid on this hole.
And I have to go patent pending again, this time with a putter. A little bit easier shot this time.
You are not making this hole easy on yourself.
No, I did not.
It's a good finesse shot right
but
there.
I'll take my par and move on. Garrett has a big birdie putt here because he knows that him and Paul are both battling right now.
He wants this to keep his hot round going. Oh, it's a scary putt because you have that little sand trap right behind the basket, and for a hyzer putt, it can definitely drift.
Oh, yeah.
If you skip off the rim or off the top of the basket, you're going to be OB.
Yeah, and Reid capitalizing on that beautiful flex shot he threw on the second shot, and Paul just going putter for a very simple birdie. And that's the thing about this hole. You know, you try to make it as simple as possible, whatever sets you up for an easy approach. And after a couple birdies there, a couple pars, we're going to move into hole number 14. We have a par 3, and it's kind of a subtle bend to the right. So you're going to see a lot of righties going a slow drifting left to right turnover, or there isn't a massive hyzer line. If you have that, lefties will get to throw some sort of baby hyzer to the basket.
Yeah, it's a fun hole. It's a hard hole to hit, but we'll probably get to see a couple birdies on this one. Paul going with the vulture, it looks like. Going with the turnover shots, looking pretty good.
And he was throwing more of a power turnover. He wanted that to flatten at the basket. He's about 28 feet from the basket. That was pretty solid.
Absolutely. Garrett going with the destroyer? What is
Oh,
that?
yeah. You guessed it.
Big hyzer.
Garrett threw a hyzer again.
The shot only he could do.
And as you can see, that gap in the trees is not that big. So that was a very well-placed hyzer. As much as it looked like he just chucked it, he had to get through a very tight window, so that was a great shot.
We're going lefty.
He's going with a vulture, and he flipped it a little bit. Looks like it's tracking. That was a little bit unlucky. Again, he just hit a low branch, and it looked like it was going to start pushing.
You're throwing the onyx here.
I am throwing the onyx. I'm trying to follow Reid's line, and I just yanked this thing.
No.
I think the T-pad kind of messed with me a little bit. It's facing towards that that bunker in the back, but it's thick back there. We'll just say that.
And Brian is somewhere in the foliage with a really decent out. Did he have a pretty easy out? Or
there was a tight window, but throwing a little scoober.
Good-looking shot there.
Oh, yeah.
Reid throwing a magnet, looks like.
And he definitely wanted that. Reid definitely is not afraid to run things from that distance, and all from about 20 feet.
He's got a lot of confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And I kind of dropped my jaw a little bit when I saw that. There is not much wind out here. I have never seen him base the pole from that distance. So I'm not sure. Maybe he realized he was perfect.
Yeah.
And, bit of a mental lapse, but Garrett's able to capitalize on that missed stroke, and he's able to take one on him.
Yeah, I'm shocked right now.
And Paul was 13 down through 13 holes.
So he's got an eagle to get back on track for the perfect round. Oh, man.
And he is not happy about that. I've actually never seen that happen. So wasn't sure what the deal was there. But
it might be something with the heat, the humidity. He might be a little fatigued at this point in the round. Because he's exerting a lot of energy out there.
Scorching hot out there.
There you go, Reid, getting that power and moving on.
So this is another one of those really interesting par fours that look like the fairway is pretty big, but there's a very specific lane right in the middle that you want to hit. We have those OB sand bunkers in the middle that funnel the fairway to the middle. We also have OB to the right and OB far left. The basket is way down the hill, so you're really just trying to throw as far as you can straight. So whatever distance you can do that, and you don't need to bite off too much in this. But
Unless you're Garrett Gurthie.
Garrett's hungry. He wants to eat.
Boom.
And that one, he just did not get on it the way he wanted to. It's fading off to the left.
Is he going to hit a tree and stop? No. Oof.
There is a lane down there. I don't think he's out of bounds, but it's a very tight lane.
That's going to be a tough birdie from there.
Paul going Zeus, and this is more... no. Well, he still should be in a decent position, but that kick off the pine tree pushed him too far to the left, and he's going to be in some thick stuff as well.
Still so far, though.
Oh, yeah. That's way down there.
Got Reid.
And this is the play that I like for lefties. Just throw a mid-range, throw it straight. He took a buzz and just down-tempoed on it, and now he still only has about 350 feet to the basket downhill.
That was a very nice controlled shot. We got you with the Comet, looks like.
Yes.
Very good.
Stable Comet. Little bit of push at the end.
Were you scared of the OB right there?
I was. I actually thought I was out of bounds for the longest time. I didn't believe anybody telling me that I was safe, but still, I missed that lane, and now I'm behind a tree. And even Reid trying to push into the middle is right behind one of these little trees, so you have to get creative. Looks like he's taking a TI nuke to flick here.
This is a scary shot because you have to shape it so you don't hit the right trees. There's a lot of branches that hang down that can catch your disc.
Exactly.
And it looks like he's going to flirt with those.
He juiced it.
That's a fine shot.
And I think it actually that tree kick actually potentially saved him from going deep OB.
I think so.
But he's happy with that. I have to go with an interesting right around this tree.
You got that pull right there.
Yet again behind a pole in a tiny pine, so I'm having to go flex sidearm here. And I threw that about as perfect as I could.
Absolutely. Great looking shot. About 15, 18 feet.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
And I was happy about that. Finally threw a decent sidearm from behind one of those trees. And as you can see, Garrett is on almost a different hole at this point.
I think he actually is. That's
threw
incredible.
A perfect forehand roller. That is a high-level shot.
He is feeling good right now.
Yeah. Paul from even worse positioning.
Oh, no.
there was so much visible frustration, after he threw that shot. And this camera doesn't even do it justice.
Man.
I really think that putt that he missed in the last hole rattled him completely because couple of really uncharacteristic mistakes for him, especially after being perfect.
And he's not used to that.
No.
He's used to stepping up to 25, 20-footers and just dropping them in. So he's in uncharted territory right now.
Yeah, and he misses on the weak side here.
Yeah.
I think Garrett's probably breathing some sighs of relief. Maybe there's a little bit of hope here.
Absolutely.
Definitely unfortunate for Paul, though. This is from about 15.
That's a great birdie.
And, yeah, after being behind that pole and having to throw some sort of flex on the second shot, that felt good to get that bird.
As Kevin would say, you're getting strokes on folks.
Yep. This is not a gimme par 4 whatsoever. Garrett, after a gorgeous...
Wow.
And that's the kind of the Garrett Gurthie play in this course. He tries to just throw as far as he can in a lot of these par 4s. And since the OB is so generous, he's able to scramble from a lot shorter distances than the other players.
He's a pretty scrappy player. He can get things done from hard places.
And Paul took an unfortunate bogey here.
Dang.
As we move into one of the shorter par 3s in the course, what is the shot shape here? It looks like it's supposed to be pretty straight, yeah?
We're going to see a lot of straight mid-range shots right at the basket. There's not much danger to the right or the left unless you go way right into the foliage. But we're probably going to see some buzzes, some rocks.
Yeah. It's definitely a baby hyzer flip, and it's definitely a birdie the players want to get, especially after that par 4.
Yeah, we got Garrett throwing a rock here. Expecting that to turn a little bit.
And that's about as picture perfect as you could be.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's that little tree off the left side of the fairway right there that makes you change your shot shape a little bit. I'm trying to go putter here, and I just did not get on it. I was very frustrated after this one.
Yeah. Even pros have off days, off rounds, and you're still playing decent.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely have left a few strokes out there.
With how long these holes are, you definitely want to capitalize on, the short ones that they give you.
Is that a zone?
No, it's a buzz.
Okay.
Reid kind of did the same thing that I did, but pushed it a little bit more forward. And was able to at least have it drift off, closer to the basket.
Paul here with the...
I actually don't know what disc this was that he threw.
I don't know.
I think it might have been a TI Buzz or some sort of putter in that blue coloring.
Decent shot. A little ultimate shot.
A little ultimate shot. I was trying to run it, but...
Beautiful shot, though. Good attempt. You don't want to miss this hole. No. This is I wouldn't say a gimme birdie, but one you definitely want to get.
And Reid, after a couple of putts splashing out earlier in the round, he finally gets a good one to stick from the rough, and that's a nice birdie to get.
Paul with a tester putt right now. There we go. That's the mark of a champion. Misses a few putts, comes back with a 25-footer right in the heart of the chains. Garrett with pretty much a drop in for a birdie. Still thinking about it a little bit. It's important for all the people watching that even 10, 15-foot putts, you should still take your time.
Absolutely.
Do your routine. Don't rush it, because that's when you see cage hits and bad shots.
No, absolutely. And,
there we go.
Especially tournaments like this where the courses are so scoreable, you have to pay attention to every single shot on the, that you're throwing, and
absolutely
you can't kind of get caught up in the swing of things. But we move into the easiest hole in the course, hole number 17. I don't even really know what to call it. It's definitely an island hole, but if you are outside of the fenced off island, it is just hazard. It's not going to take you to a drop zone.
You play from where you lie.
Play from where it lies with a stroke penalty, but it's only
168
it's only 168 feet, so...
it's really hard, though, for me. We got a sonic throw from Garrett. Good touch shot. It looks a little right.
And Garrett's just hanging out in the park playing catch with people today. He's been throwing that sonic all over the place.
Beautiful. It's like a zone from Reid.
Reid going the opposite of a sonic, throwing a zone.
You guys are making this look so easy.
And that is right there.
Beautiful shot.
And I know Paul's trying to ace this.
Is it that Big Z? Yeah.
Big Z Luna, and he's definitely trying to ace it.
He puts himself a little long and left. He should have like a 25 footer.
25.
Yeah.
And I actually go with a flick turnover because I'm also trying to ace it.
I like it.
I swung it a little bit too wide this time.
This is a Banger GT.
No, this was a Comet.
Okay.
I don't think a lefty hyzer is the shot to ace it.
Ooh.
and a little bit of a sneaky putt, and I
You deserve that one. You deserve that one.
give my blessings to the basket as it catches my ugly putt.
The disc golf gods. Paul. Oh, no.
And this is where I was standing there during the round just kind of shocked. He started so ridiculously hot, and then I think, that one missed putt kind of rattled him, and
For sure.
Even his body language had changed, throughout the round, even though he was clearly, in the lead.
Yeah.
His sights are set a lot higher, and obviously he knows that not many people are going to be missing this hole.
For sure. And Garrett actually takes the lead on this hole, 14 down. Man, that's a solid score out here right now. There's a good birdie
Little
from
lefty
Reid.
love there.
There we go. It's
And-
not often we get to see two lefties on a feature card.
I
This is
know.
fun to watch.
And two lefties with very differing play styles. Reid being more of the textbook lefty with a lot of backhands, and me throwing a lot more sidearms. So definitely fun to watch the different shot selections. Moving into 18, one of the tougher, I would say one of the toughest par threes in the course.
This hole is
Actually,
crazy.
the toughest, I would say. I think there were only 4 birdies on the day. You have to, if you want a birdie, you have to go over this tree line on the left side. And you're playing down to this beautiful green that they've manicured here.
Probably one of the prettiest greens I've ever played on.
Most definitely. And righties are going to have to either throw a giant flex sidearm or a late drifting mid-range shot backhand.
I'm surprised Garrett's not going backhand turnover shot on this one.
And Garrett has thrown this one to the next county.
Wow. So he still has about like 300 feet.
He still has about the same distance to the basket. He was trying to get that to flex, and it did not even come close.
Looks like it came out super
He was
Anheuser out of his
laughing after
hand.
that one.
We're going to see a big, it's probably a spike hyzer from Reid, or is it going to be a flex? Okay. That's tracking. That's looking pretty good.
He threw it a little bit high, so it's going to stall out, nose up, and the ground was so soft that the tombstones were definitely plentiful that day.
And this is a crazy hole because you honestly have no idea what your drive's, like you obviously know a little bit what your drive's going to do, but you don't know where it is until you get down there.
And this was frustrating. This was the final drive of the day, and I felt like I had been throwing well and just yanked that a little bit.
Ooh,
and
safe
just
that
just
volleyball
safe
court
that
right
OB.
there is out of bounds. You don't see it in play often, but definitely when you hit a tree, you can.
As hard as this hole is, it's definitely a lefty hole, so that was definitely a frustrating miss. Paul actually going jawbreaker wasp here.
Wow. Interesting play. Let's see if it works out.
And that is beautiful. He's getting that to flatten and track right at the basket.
Oh, yeah. That's just outside the circle.
Yeah, just outside circle one.
A tester putt to finish the round.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that water feature.
Yeah, it's one of the prettier greens I've ever seen, if not the prettiest.
Nice little upshot.
A little banger up.
You just want to hit those rocks and call it good.
Yeah, and all the water is casual up there, so there's nothing to really be afraid of.
Garrett throwing a rock at the rocks. Oh, he's got a little bit of a tester.
About 25-footer.
Yeah. With that wind, too. Well, not anymore, I guess.
Oh.
Right in the water.
And that was really the theme of Reid's round. That was a lot of really, really close putts.
Yeah.
We're so close to sticking.
I think if I was him, I'd just focus on the good shots next round.
Most definitely. And
Paul,
another air ball from 30.
Oh, no.
Definitely a lackluster finish to the round. We're
not how you want to
watching
finish.
Double G take his bogey there. And
Oh, no.
yeah, I was shocked. And it's crazy to even see them at 13 under par and 14 under par for the round and still miss those putts to finish.
They could have.
They bogeyed.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to watch, but clearly there's something Paul's got to work out either mentally or physically to get that putt back. But
In their defense, though, this is a pretty tough hole.
oh, it's one of the toughest par threes.
Only
for a
2
righty
birdies
that
on the
I've
first
seen.
round.
Absolutely.
Mr. Austin Hannum and
Myself. Oh, first round.
first round.
Dang. Oh. Not quite sure who got the other one.
Me.
Oh boy! Congratulations.
There we go.
But a very interesting round. A lot of really differing play styles, and we watched a couple of great scores get shot.
Absolutely.
13 down, 12 down,
Great
and a 7
scores.
down and a 4 down for me and Reid.
Still respectable.
Definitely a blast to watch, and a really interesting course as well. Make sure to tune in next time for round 2 coverage.
Yeah, we're going to have Garrett Gurthie, Paul McBeth, Tim Barham, and myself, Chandler Fry. Should be fun to watch.
And make sure to subscribe to JomezPro for all sorts of disc golf action.